All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's Stadium, where you're hearing Christmas music in the background, maybe because the 49ers just had their holiday Christmas party or their holiday party for some of the kids here at the stadium. And so I'm taping this while they're playing their holiday music. But Kyle Shanahan spoke to us, and of course we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week, from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. We're also brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles along the Monterey Peninsula. Go say hi to my friend Anthony Catania there in Pacific Grove. Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. All right, let's talk a little bit about Niners. Today, as far as what we learned in Santa Clara, first we went out to practice. There was no Trent Williams. There was no Nick Bosa. There was no Brock Purdy. Jacob Cowing was running sprints on the side. George Kittle was practicing and looking good. Christian McCaffrey was also practicing for the 49ers. Then after practice, we just talked to Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan told us that Brock Purdy is not going to go. He's not going to be able to play Sunday. The shoulder, they had an MRI. He's dealing with pain. Brandon Allen's going to make the start. So no Brock Purdy. Purdy will make the trip with the team to Green Bay, but he will not play, and Brandon Allen will make the start. Now, for Brandon Allen, it's his 10th NFL start of his career. He's 2-7 in his previous 9 starts, and I think he's completed about 58% of his passes. So he did look really, really good in preseason. He played probably his best football yet in the preseason, so maybe he can step up in this moment. Trent Williams, with his ankle, is going to be a game-time decision. He has not practiced, didn't practice Wednesday, didn't practice Thursday, was not out there today. But Trent's unique in that he may be able to take a shot and get out there. And if he can, he will. If not, Jalen Moore is going to start in his place at left tackle. Nick Bosa is out. He's not going to play this week. Yatir Gross-Matos and Leonard Floyd likely will start at defensive end. This is a major loss for the 49ers. I think in some ways this loss is one of the biggest losses because now Nick Sorensen is going to have to dial up pressure. The 49ers don't blitz. They're one of the lowest blitz rate teams in all of pro football. They blitz about 13% of the time. But expect for Nick Sorensen to dial up a bunch of dogs and blitzes in this game. He's going to be sending linebackers. He's going to be sending defensive backs. They're going to mix it up. They're not just going to sit back there with 4 rushers without Nick Bosa and get crushed. So expect Sorensen to have a bunch of exotic blitzes and to really dial it up Sunday against the Packers at Lambeau Field. So Purdy out, Bosa out, Trent Williams is 50-50. So we'll find out, and it will come down to kickoff, how he's looking, how he's feeling. Maybe it will be announced in the morning on Sunday, but that still is to be determined. Mooney Ward remains out for the 49ers. This is a major, major loss for the Niners. Not only is Mooney, been missing the last couple weeks, but now he's unable to play this week. That's a huge blow. Jacob Cowing with the concussion remains in the protocol. As I said, he was running, doing sprints on the side. He's been listed as out for this game. And Kevin Givens also has been listed as out. The 49ers defensive tackle has a groin strain, and he's been out for a few weeks, and obviously he's not ready to return. As far as Green Bay, they enter this game not 100% either. Jair Alexander, their cornerback, has a knee injury. He did not practice today or yesterday and likely is not going to go. Edgerrin Cooper, the rookie linebacker from Texas A&M, has got a hamstring injury that he hurt Wednesday. I'd be shocked if Cooper goes in this game either. Green Bay has been really good this year, 5-2 in one-possession games, where the 49ers have struggled in these one-possession games. John Lynch did stop by earlier today on KMBR and told Murph and Marcus that Brock Purdy did have an MRI on the shoulder and indicated to those guys that Brandon Allen would start if Purdy couldn't go, and indeed that's the case. Purdy can't go, and Brandon Allen will start. He mentioned that Mooney Ward's back at practice, but Mooney is not going to be able to go in this game. Lynch also said something I thought was kind of interesting. He said from his perspective, the Niners' offensive line is playing well. There are some stats that show that the Niners' offensive line is playing well. though Jake Brendel has struggled in pass protection. Lynch did admit to the boys, though, that the season thus far has been a disappointment, and they badly want to win on Sunday against Green Bay. Now, The Athletic, by the way, released their 110 play anonymous player NFL player survey, and it came out, and I just saw it, and Levi's Stadium was voted as the best playing surface in the entire league by the NFL players. Arrowhead and SoFi were tied for second place. But I thought that was kind of interesting just from the standpoint of when this stadium opened, Jim Harbaugh and the Niners staff at the time took so many issues with the surface, and they had re-sodded the stadium 3 different times, and they had different sod on the inside than they did on the outside. And it's amazing how far this thing has come in a short amount of time. They had a lot of turf issues initially, but according to the 110 anonymous players who were surveyed, Levi Stadium voted as the best playing surface in the NFL. Couple other thoughts on this thing. The Niners are 5-5, Green Bay's 7-3. Right now, the Niners are the 10 seed in the NFC, Green Bay being the 6 seed. Niners are trying to get that 3rd seed as the champion of the NFC West. We'll see if they can get there. Now, the Niners and the Packers have both scored 250 points. The Niners defense has given up 9 more points than Green Bay's defense. The Niners have gained 108 more yards than Green Bay's offense, so that's how they kind of stack up. Green Bay's defense has forced 3 or more turnovers than the Niners defense has. In fact, the Niners in Green Bay, it's interesting if you look at their seasons. The Niners and the Packers have combined for 13 one-possession games. Green Bay's 5-2 in those games, and the Niners are 2-4 in those games. These teams very even and could have very similar records, but instead Green Bay's at 7-3 because they've won these close games, and the Niners are 5-5 because they haven't. Interesting stat, Green Bay's defense has forced 19 takeaways, 3rd most in the NFL. I asked Brandon Allen about it. He said, yeah, we're going to have to take care of the football, and they really do take it away. Xavier McKinney, the free agent safety, came over from the Giants, I think has 7 takeaways on his own. The Niners offense has not been turnover prone this year. They've only got 13 turnovers, which is 13th fewest in the league. Green Bay's defense has forced at least 3 turnovers 5 different times this year. That's the most in the NFL. So they have had games where they really force a bunch of turnovers. Green Bay's offense has scored 24 points or more 7 times this year. That's 4th most in the NFL. Their defense is 10th in points allowed, giving up 21.3 a game. If you say, what has Green Bay done really well this year? They've been great at protecting Jordan Love. In fact, they've allowed Jordan Love to be sacked the fewest times of any quarterback in the league. Green Bay comes into this game playing good ball. They've won 5 out of 6. The Niners defense has really struggled to get off the field on 3rd downs. That's going to be a key area. One guy I think to really focus on in this game is stopping Christian Watson. Watson had 150 yards receiving last week against the Bears. The Niners' run defense is pretty strong. They held Kenneth Walker to under 4 yards a carry, and they're going to have to do a good job this week against Green Bay because Green Bay can run the ball really, really well. They've got a good running back. They've got a strong offensive line, and they can run the ball. CMC, this will be his 3rd game back from the Achilles tendonitis. Hopefully he can find his form. Green Bay struggles to stop the run. Last week, DeAndre Swift went for 5 yards a carry, so maybe CMC could get off against Green Bay's run defense. The one key is the Niners have to stop Josh Jacobs from scrimmage as a runner, but also as a receiver. He'll catch the ball out of the backfield, and the Niners have struggled to defend the running back out of the backfield this year. One area where, Brandon Allen may want to think about, trying to burn Green Bay is take off and run. Caleb Williams ran for 70 yards last Sunday against this Packer defense. Niners, by the way, are 0-2 this year without George Kittle, which is good news because Kittle is going to play in this game, and hopefully that will give the Niners the needed juice they need for the win. And Juwan Jennings is trying to put together 3 consecutive big games in a row. He's had back-to-back 90-yard performances. JJ's going to try to make that 3 in a row Sunday at Lambeau. Temperature is supposed to be in the low 30s, high 20s. There could be some snow. It should be a lot of fun to watch. Niners at Lambeau. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.